Faceless grind, I'm paving my lane. Me 2 times, yeah, we changing the game. Elevate me to you. That was brand new. Built it from scratch, now we teaching you. Hit that sub, let the vision come true. This ain't just content, it's what we do.
5 of the Build Your Brand series. Today is all about design that performs, from photos to banners to your overall brand presence. Whether you're creating content for a faceless YouTube channel, a digital brand, or your own product suite, this video will walk you through how to find and customize Canva templates fast, how to edit photos that match your brand style, how to design YouTube channel art that fits across every device, and how to build a strong, simple profile image or avatar. This is where your strategy starts to take shape visually. Let's jump in. Before you start designing anything, choosing the right template is key. In this section, we're going to explore how to find templates in Canva that are not only visually strong but easy to customize to fit your brand. Whether you're creating for YouTube, social media, or digital products, having the right starting point saves you time and keeps your content consistent.
Alright, let's design our brand style guide for Fairtrade Connection. This is super exciting. This is the part of the course where we actually start designing. And of course, you will be following along this project, designing your very own brand style guide. So the first step to designing that brand style guide is I want to start with a template. Okay, I want to start with one or a couple of templates from which I'm going to source pages for my future brand style guide. So before we start diving into the templates, there's one important question we need to answer. And that question is, what format are we going to be using for our brand style guide? I'm going to type brand style guide in Canva's homepage search bar right here, brand style guide, and just see what is being proposed, suggested to me. So for brand style guide, I can see different types of documents. We have A4 type of documents. We have kind of like presentations, though this is not a 16:9 presentation. We have squared kind of like color palette guides here. So we have a variety of different formats, as I can see from the first look right here. So also I can see different kind of complexity of brand style guide. Some of them are just color palettes like this one, and some are more elaborated already brand identity board. So what I'm going to do is to quickly try to identify the right keywords that these templates are using, so I can have a better idea. For me, I think I want to go with the presentation kind of format because I like presentation, I like to work in a horizontal mode, and I like my document to actually be the same size as when I'm shooting videos. And I'd love to find a presentation. So maybe if I type brand style guide plus presentation, yes, I can see here brand guidelines presentation. So let's click on that and see what's coming. So directly I see a lot of presentations. I see only presentations actually, which is great. And some of these presentations, they actually say brand guidelines, which is exactly what I'm searching for. So I'm going to have a look at what we have here. If I click on it, it will directly open into the editor. I'm going to click on it so you can see. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is to explore this template. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the 3 little dot button and say and click on preview this template. Okay, so when I do that, I can see the different pages inside this presentation to see if it's actually something I can work with. So I can see logo variations, I can see proper logo placement. So this could work. I'm not a huge fan of this style. For me, it lacks a lot of visuals. So I'm going to try to find one with more visuals in it. Okay, so what else do we have? We have company branding guidelines here. Again, clicking on the 3 little dots, not on the actual tile, preview this template and see if I can find something. Table of content, that could be interesting. Yeah, there are some visuals. Logo evolution, this is good. It's a little bit basic, perhaps. at this stage. So let's see what else we can find. I see another one here that says brand guidelines, and it kind of looks clean and modern, so it catches my attention. I kind of want to see more about this one. So again, 3 little dots, preview this template. And yes, let's have a look. Table of content. I love the big visuals. I love the color gradients here. So I think we might have something good here. Typography. Yep, your color palette, applications of your brand, different formats, different supports. Yeah, this is something I could probably work with. So what I'm going to do at this stage is simply to star this template. Okay, it's a free template, which is great. So if I star it, then it will be added to my starred folder, and I can come back to this later, which is great. So I feel like I have something already interesting here to work with, but I would love to have a second one so I can mix and match 2 different templates and kind of fetch the different pages that I will need for my actual brand style guide. So this is something I actually highly recommend when you are looking at creating more elaborated documents in Canva. Like here, I want to create a presentation of maybe 15 to 20 pages, to not just limit yourself to one template. You could start with a template, but also have another one and see how they look, see how these templates have been built, and kind of fetch different pages from different templates. So I will show you exactly how to do this in the next lecture, but for now I'm just selecting my different templates. So I have one, this one I started, so it's now in my start folder. I feel like I need a second one, and then I'm good to go. Okay, so what else do I have? I have this one right here. If I just hover over it, I can see it's kind of cool. Lots of colors. I like that. This is good. Could work. Could start this as well. And then let's have a look at this one right here, table of content. I like that with the values. This could be useful. The logo evolution. Okay, let's start this one as well. All right, we now have starred 3 different templates. Let's come back to the Canva homepage. I want to show you where these are. So if you go to your projects, you should see your starred folder here. So I'm going to click on that, and here are my 3 different templates that I actually just selected. So what I'm going to do is to open them. Okay, I'm just going to open each of these 3 style guides, and we will start using them, use as a template. Okay, so let's see, I have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's just keep them here, have that open here, and we can have a quick look to see how they look. I feel like there are some good ideas here that I can probably use, which is great. I like this one with the colors. This is quite inspiring. We could probably use something like that, something with showing your imagery style. This one is good, but I don't feel like, except from the idea here of the color palette, I might use something like that. The rest of it is pretty basic. Compared, in my opinion, compared to what we have in the other 2 docs. We have a complete like table of content, a brief history, some visuals, we have the mission and vision, we have the values. This one is much more kind of like a traditional brand style guide where I will have all the information that I need, my logo and logo variations, then we have your color palette. I feel like this one is more like a traditional style of brand style guide, but also more practical, more easy to use. So I'll definitely keep this one. And then we have this one, which is similar to the previous one, but has larger visuals. So that could work as well. I like the way typography is presented here. Okay, so I can probably grab some stuff from these 2 first documents. I'm going to close the 3rd one for now. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it open, but I'm going to focus on these 2 documents right here. and start creating my own brand style guide. So in the next lecture, we will start doing just that, creating our brand style guide.
Next up, let's walk through how to edit your photos in Canva, even if you're not a designer. We'll cover how to use background remover, filters, adjustments, and frames to give your images a polished, professional look. This is perfect for creators, product listings, and faceless content that still needs strong visuals.
Welcome back to the course, guys. In this lecture, we are going to look at how you can edit your photos directly from Canva. So I'm going to start from my Pro account. And the reason why I'm going to use my Pro account is that some photo editing features are only for Pro users. So some specific features are going to be only for Pro members, Pro subscribers, namely the background remover. That is mostly the one that comes to my mind when it comes to features for editing photos. Pretty much the rest of the features will be available for free users as well. So apart from the background remover, there is nothing else I believe free users won't be able to do. But because I want to illustrate the background remover when it comes to editing photos, I decided to go ahead and use my Pro account. Anyhow, how do you edit photos with Canva? Well, we will start from the home page by using this icon that we see here on the search bar that says Edit Photo. So I'm going to click on that. So we are going to start by selecting one photo. Canva will only allow you to edit photos one by one. And when you start from this little icon right here, you will have to select only one photo. You cannot import a batch of photos from there. Okay, so what I need to do is to locate my folder. So, okay, in my visuals, Fairtrade Connection, and I'm gonna work with this folder right here where I have a couple of different photos. I'm going to use this one and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Okay, so this is the photo I'm going to be working with. This lady right here is called Sonia. She lives in Bangladesh, and I interviewed her with Fairtrade Connection, my nonprofit, back in the days. I don't remember exactly the date, but it was like a couple of years back. And I do have a video about Sonia. So what I want to do here is to prepare the work for the rest of this section where we will be designing all sorts of visuals for social media. And I will be designing everything for my nonprofit, Fairtrade Connection, because I want this content to be as down to earth, useful in real life as possible. I'm going to be creating some real content that will be published on my social media accounts for Fairtrade Connection. Okay, so from here, a couple of information. We have the photo dimension. Okay, we have its title. So we can edit photo or use it in a design. If we click on edit photo, it will open a document that has the dimensions of the photo. If I click on use in a design, I can immediately create a design which will have the dimensions of pretty much whatever type of content I want to create for a specific platform. So let's go ahead and use in a design, and I will say, for example, a Facebook post. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Canva is going to create a Facebook post. So the dimensions of a Facebook post. You can always click on File to see the dimensions, 940 by 788 pixels. And it will import my photo of Sonia here, and that will be placed in the middle of my document. Okay, so this is great. I can start designing from here. I'm not going to create the Facebook post, but I just wanted to show you that you can decide to open a specific document straight away. If you already know, okay, I'm going to edit a photo with the intention to post it on Facebook, well, go ahead and create a Facebook post. For now, I'm going to go back to home, and I want to show you how to edit the photo, the same photo, but this time with the dimensions of the photos. This time I clicked on edit photo, and you will see a document is created with the file of this photo. Okay, so let me show you what you can do with your photo. You can actually do three things. The first is to enhance your photo, the second is to transform your photo, and the third is to apply filters and effects. We are going to talk about each of these categories of actions you can take, but first let's start with how to enhance your photos. So the first thing I want to do is to click on the photo itself. in order for me to see that button right here that says Edit Image. So I'm going to click on that and I can see this new menu popping up. Okay, so if I scroll down, there's a bunch of different things, and straight from here, I want to show you the different things. So remember I said you can do one of three things. The first one is to enhance. So enhancing your photo, meaning you can crop it or you can reframe it. You can also adjust a couple of settings here. So brightness, contrast, saturation. If I click on see all, you can see the list of settings that I can modify is actually way longer. And you can also use some auto enhance features. If you scroll back to the bottom of this, you see auto enhance and auto focus. Face retouch also is a enhance feature. Now, one thing I need to say is that this photo has already been kind of worked on. So there's already some work that has been put into this photo. I retouched the photo back in the days after shooting it. So this is not the raw photo, okay? It's already kind of embellished. Again, let's go back to our edit image menu right here. And let's start to play around with these settings. I want to show you some of the things you can do with this photo. So we are in the enhance category. I think the most obvious set of settings is the adjust. Okay, so there is a shortcut here on top, or you can simply scroll to this section right here and click on see all to see all of these sliders. So you can adjust the luminosity or the brightness of your photo. You can add some contrast or remove some contrast in your photo, saturation. If you take the saturation slider all the way to the left, you'll have a black and white photo or a desaturated photo. You can play around with the tint, the blur. Blur is interesting in that way that you can sharpen an image. Obviously here it's quite ugly when you do that, or you can blur an image. That could be useful for some special occasion, like specific occasions. But here I feel like this photo is quite well focused. Maybe I can move the slider slightly to the left here, maybe -3 to sharpen it slightly more. X-Process to kind of play around with the colors. I wouldn't do that too much with this one. You can add a vignette. Okay, so that could be interesting, but we're not going to do this here. So I'm going to leave it at 50. You can play around with the warmth, or actually remove the vignette to 0. The warmth, the clarity. So clarity is to add some light, I would say, in the photo, but again, because it's already been treated before, I'm not going to play around with this too much. Vibrance, same. Highlights, shadows, and fade. So these sliders are pretty much the classic settings you would expect from a photo editing platform. It's already pretty complete, like you have a bunch of settings. One thing I like also here at the bottom is that Canva gives you a filter code. If you copy this filter code and apply it on another photo, meaning let's say if I have another photo here, let's grab a photo from the elements, let's say Bangladesh lady. Let's try this and find a photo. Let's see if I can find a lady from Bangladesh. There's not many ladies from Bangladesh in here, Canva. What's going on? Maybe this lady, I'm not sure if she's from Bangladesh. Doesn't seem because the way she dresses, but let's use that. I just want to illustrate what this photo code actually does. So let me go back to my adjust settings. Yes, I'm going to grab this photo filter code. I will Command C or Control C. I'm copying this, and I'm going to this photo right here, and I'm going to do the same. Going to the adjust button and paste Control V or Command V. And now I have this filter right here, which is exactly the same filter. Meaning if I bring some modifications, here we don't really see this too much because I didn't apply many adjustments to the first photo. But let's say I'm gonna go all out here and desaturate. Okay, now I have a different filter here. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna apply it to this photo because I want to show you what it does. Okay, so adjust, and I'm gonna paste this, and you see basically all the settings from my first photos are kind of reflected in this filter code, and then I can paste that on other photos. Another way to do this, let me Control Z, this color correction here. I'm going to click on the first photo and use the copy style button and then click here. And this does the same. So all the attributes from the first photo will be pasted on the second photo. Okay, I'm going to delete this lady here and keep my photo of Sonia. I'm going to go back to edit image and bring back my saturation to 0. Okay, because I like the color. All right, so this is the first set, I would say, of features. These are the adjust sliders that you will find under the adjust here. Something else you can do is to crop or to reframe your photo. Now, how do you do that? You'll have to first detach your photo from the background. Okay, so remember, right click, detach image from background, and now you have access to some more features. You'll see the little corners of the photos have some circles in them. So if you grab a corner and you drag, you will resize the image. Okay, this is not really what we want to do. But if you grab a handle here on one of the sides, you will actually crop the photo. Okay, now I'm cropping the photo. If I want some sort of like square headshot, I can have that. Okay, if not, I can bring my photo back to its original size. So that's one thing. If you can also double click on the photo and crop the photo in this way. Okay, the difference between this way and the first one I showed you is that when you crop like this, you don't really see anything. Okay, Control Z. But if you double click and crop using the corners here, then you see the entirety of the photo. So I would recommend you crop this way. And also you have your lower thirds, so the lines that you see here, so vertically and horizontally, these kind of help you for your framing. So here I can see pretty well framed. I have her entire face in this central square, central tile of my photo, like it's divided into 9 little similar squares. So I like that everything is here. Yeah, so this will help you pretty much frame your photos. Here, the photo is framed in such a way that I can use this space here for some text, some visuals. So this is pretty good. I'm not gonna change that photo framing for now. Okay, so we've covered cropping, framing, adjusting all the sliders. The last thing I want to show you, if I click on the photo and go edit image for my enhancement features, is the auto features. Okay, so you remember I told you we had some auto enhance features. So right here, let's click on that. So since this is the first time I'm using this extension in Canva, I'm gonna have to confirm that I want to use it. And now I can use it here. So Canva can actually auto enhance this photo. It's still a beta feature, can show the original and show the auto enhance feature. It's actually quite better, so I'm going to use that. You can add to the intensity of this filter, which is interesting. You see before, after, is slightly less light on her face, so it's pretty much a little bit more balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this auto enhance to my photo. So that's all the enhanced features. There is the face retouch as well. So this feature right here, let me open it and show you what it does. So this is pretty much to retouch faces. Here, Sonia's face is already looking pretty good. So I don't know if I really need to use this feature, but I want to show you what it does. So basically you have your 4 settings right here. The auto one is going to modify each of the 3 settings here. So smoothen the skin, whiten the teeth, and get rid of red eyes. We don't see her teeth here, so this slider right here is not gonna apply too much for us because we don't see any teeth. Red eyes, I don't see her eyes being so red, but these features exist in Canva. They can help you pretty much reduce, yeah, we can see some difference. But her eyes, that were originally kind of brown, turned more like black. So, but we got rid of the redness in the eyes as well. So her look is a little bit deeper when I use this feature. I'm not gonna mess with that too much because I want this photo to kind of be original. But I just wanted to let you know that these features exist in Canva for you to play around with. Okay, moving on to the second type of actions you can take in Canva when working on editing photos. It's the transformative actions, okay? So for that, again, like make sure your photo is selected, go and click on Edit Image. And we are talking here about tools like Smart Mockups, background remover. So the background remover is to get rid of the background of an image. You have other tools like shadows and outlines, so your shadows here with which you can create outlines. I'll cover that in a minute. You have your blur. So the blur app right here will add some blur in your photo, which could be interesting as well. And then you can add frames as well. Let me show you where the frames are. Frames are right here. So let's cover these one by one. Let's start by the most obvious one, the only one, which is the Pro feature, which is background remover. Okay, so to apply the background remover, if you're a Canva Pro user, just click on this button right here, and then Canva will do its magic and get rid of the background for you. Okay, so this is what we get. So here I'm seeing that I might be missing a little bit of her hair, of Sonia's hair here. So I'm going to click on Restore. I'm going to zoom in and try to see, slightly touching here to see if I can make this look a little bit more natural. Something like that looks way better. So I'm going to zoom out. Yes, it looks a little bit less weird. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to click on Done, okay? But background remover has the erase and restore function. We've seen that in another lecture, so I'm not going to expand too much here. I'm happy with this photo, so I'm going to click on Done. And from here, just click on Apply. And now the background of this photo has been cut out. I can easily like reframe this or just get rid of the white space here. And I have my photo of Sonia that I can use on any type of background. Now, this is if you are going to create some sort of new design with this. This could be super useful for creating for social media. But for the purpose of this lecture, I'm going to keep it like so, but I'm also going to add a new page. Actually, let me delete. I'm going to duplicate this page and keep Sonia without a background here. But on this one, I'm going to go back to my edit image and I want to restore the original. Okay, so you always have this button right here that helps you go back to your original photo. This will clear any effect, any enhancement that you might have brought to your photo, and including the background remover. So I'm going to click on that. I can see that the cropping has been preserved. So when I say any effect apart from the cropping. So yeah, this is pretty much my original photo, and I want to continue showing you some of the transform actions you can take with Canva. But let's keep this one without the background for later. So another one effect that I like and I use quite regularly in terms of transformation is the shadows. Okay, so shadows, let me show you where to find it. You will find a section here that says shadows. If you click on See All, you will see that there are 6 different shadows here that you can apply to your photo. This one, because it's a rectangular photo, if you use shadow, let me resize this down a little bit. And if you click on shadows, the shadow will be applied to the entire photo, meaning the entire rectangle. Let's apply this curved shadow, for example, and you see you'll have this slight shadow right here that makes it as if the photo was kind of hovering over your blank and your white canvas right here. So this is pretty cool. I like this effect. Could look very nice on a presentation, for example, and you can play around with the settings as well of this specific curved effect. So if I click here, I have different sliders, namely the curve, the offset, see the transparency of this shadow, less or more, the blur. So you can really have like some fine-tuned shadows. Even the color can be transformed. So for now, I'm going to cancel that. I just wanted to show you how shadows look from an entire photo. Now, you can also apply shadows to a photo that has been worked with the background remover. So for example, this photo without a background, I could also apply a shadow to this photo. So same, click on the photo, edit image, then find your shadows, see all, And I want to show you a specific shadow that brings a specific type of outcome, and that is the glow shadow. If you click on glow, you can easily create a glow around your photo. And now because it doesn't have a background anymore, it's just like this outline is going around my figure, my character here in the photo, my subject. So again, I'm going to click on the setting options. I'm going to bump the size of this outline, and I'm going to play around with transparency. You see, if I go all the way to the left, I don't see the outline, but if I go all the way to the right, then my shadow, my glow is more intense. Okay, and if I get rid of the blur, it becomes a line. See? And now I can change the color of this line and have this cool effect where we have this outline around my photo. So usually you would use that for a YouTube thumbnail, for example. Usually it's going to be a white outline. So if I change the color of this background to, I don't know, for example, let's say this green right here, we will see a clean outline around my photo right here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I can also add some blur and add some sort of lighting effect with the same shadow and glow effect right here. So just make sure that you use the different settings, and you can play around with these sliders right here to give your photo some cool effects. Add some blur to make it softer, for example. Here I have two separate glow on top of one another, so this is what it can look like, but you can see here the potential already of such effects. Okay, so let's continue seeing how you can transform your photos with Canva. So going back to my original photo here, edit image one more time. Now I want to show you smart mockups. Okay, smart mockups is a smart and quick way to add your photo into a mockup. Okay, so scroll down and you should see a section here that says Smart Mockups. This is free, so this will be available for pro users and free users. So simply click on See All right here. And what you see when you use Smart Mockups is a series of different mockups. So what is a mockup? Well, it's like a pre-made design on which you can add your own design. Okay, so you can place your design in a context. Here you can see a phone, a computer, a business card, a t-shirt, a mug. So there's a bunch of different mockups, we call them mockups, in which you can insert your own design. So this is pretty cool. For example, if I want to add the photo of Sonia into a computer, for example, this computer right here, just click on it, and then now all of a sudden this is going to happen. So this could be super useful when it comes to, for example, bringing your designs to life, basically putting them in such a context that it can tell a story. Okay, so don't forget that you can also play around with the settings here. So do not click anywhere else outside of the photo while applying smart mockups to your photo. Just make sure you click on the settings first. So in terms of settings, you have fill, fit, and custom. So these are just different ways your photo will fit the mockup, basically. So customs will help you reduce the size, make it bigger, make it smaller. This could be pretty useful when you use a logo, for example, on a t-shirt or on a mug. But here, I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to apply. And now I have this beautiful mockup created with Sonia's photo right here. So one more time, I'm going to go back. I'm going to apply this effect to show you how it's done, and then go back to edit image, and I'm one more time restoring this to the original, so getting rid of the smart mockups. Okay, so in terms of transforming your photos, we've talked about the background remover, we've talked about shadows and outlines, we've talked about smart mockups. Now let's talk about blur and frames. Okay, so blur is a relatively new app in Canva. It's this app right here. It's under Tools. Okay, so if I click on blur, I can add some blur, and I can restore parts of the images in which I've added my blur. So let's first add some blur. Okay, I want to blur pretty much everything here, like all of the background, so that Sonia pops out a little bit more on this photo. Let's see what it does. Okay, so I'm trying to only paint the background here, painting everything in this background, like so. Okay, not touching Sonia's face. There you go. So I've added the blur. Maybe I can add some intensity. And you see, yeah, this is pretty good actually. If I compare to the original, see what it does. So I would say this is pretty good. Like I should probably restore this part right here where I touch her shoulder a little bit too much. Yeah, done. And now I have this photo with my added blur. I can apply it like so. Yes, and now this photo is way blurrier and she's kind of more detached from the background. Okay, so one more time, I'm gonna restore to original and you will see the effect here with the background coming back to life and focus. There you go. So that's the blur. Pretty useful if you ask me to create more professional looking photos where your subject is completely in focus but the background is blurred. So that's a blur. The last transform effect I want to show you is frames. Okay, so again, click on your photo, edit image, and scroll until you see frames. Okay, frames is right here. You can click on that. I'm going to connect the app to Canva. And then from here, I can add a bunch of different frames. Basically, I can add a laptop frame, I can add a phone frame, I can add a white laptop, tablet, different kinds of frames, basically. Okay, if you click on phone, for example, and you see your photo is framed in such a way that you don't really like, you can click on the option settings that you see here, and then you can, the crop position, you can slide it one way or another. So you can reframe this correctly and then click on apply. So this is pretty much frames. You have a variety of different frames here. Let me restore this photo to original. Okay, I'm going to apply it first. Good. Next, click on it, edit image, again, restore to original. I've been doing this quite a bunch of times since the beginning of this video. Yeah, let me go back to frames and show you some other frames. So you have a bunch of different frames here. Some others that I like, the neon borders could be interesting to have this kind of effect. It's kind of not so subtle, so maybe it's a little bit too much. But the device frames here are pretty interesting. So let me click on none and get back to the page here. Okay, so we've covered the enhancement features, we've covered the transformative features. Now let's jump into the last set of features when it comes to editing your photos in Canva, and these are the filters and effects. Okay, so similarly, you will go to your edit image button and this time look for the filters. So if you click on see all here, you will see a bunch of different filters. So these are pretty much preset filters that you can apply in one click to your photos. You can always change the settings with the little slider here. You can go black and white, you can go grayscale. But for me, because I have a specific brand style guide and a specific imagery style that we will be following and respecting with Fairtrade Connection, I'm not going to apply any of these filters. There are more filters and more effects that you can apply to your photo. For example, the photogenic set of filters have some interesting filters as well. If you are into this, there's more to it, especially the color pop here can have some pretty funky stuff going on. So this could be interesting, some monochromatic. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. What else do we have? We have, yeah, bad TV, color mix, trippy. So all of these are effects that I recommend you explore. For example, the pixelate could be interesting if you want to pixelate your photo. That could be interesting, and your sliders here can add more or less pixels in your photo if you wish. You're going to cancel that. But yeah, these are all the effects and filters that you can apply easily. Oh yeah, One that I particularly like, I should have started with this one, is the duotone effect. Okay, duotone is one of my favorite effects in Canva for photos because it has a bunch of preset duotone effects built in. Okay, so you can go pop, violet, amber. So this can be really cool to create some trendy social media post, eye-catching post, and really set a different tone with your photos, okay? What I like also about this effect is that you can customize each of the colors. If you have your brand colors, you can really change them here and have some stuff. Sometimes it's not looking very good, but you can add different colors here according to your taste, okay? But I think the presets are very well done. I particularly like the pop effect. The fuchsia is also cool. So I know Spotify has been playing around with these types of visuals a lot, and then some other brands have kind of jumped on that trend as well. So this could really still work on social media, but it really depends on what you have decided in your brand imagery, in your brand style guide. What kind of effects are you okay with? And so yeah, so this will kind of dictate what you do, but you can always try something different as well. Duotone is something interesting to play around with. I'm going to cancel this. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in this lecture. In the next lecture, I will show you that you can also start from your mobile phone when it comes to editing photos on Canva. I will see you there.
Now let's focus on your YouTube banner, one of the most important and overlooked parts of your brand. We'll break down how to create channel art that fits across desktop, mobile, and TV, and reflects the look and message of your brand. This step matters whether you're just starting out or updating your existing visuals.
Let's continue our visual creation for YouTube. And in this lecture, we are going to tackle a delicate topic, which is the YouTube channel art. I'm saying delicate because it's one of the most complicated visuals to create, in my opinion, for social media, because of its dimensions and because YouTube and the YouTube channel art in particular need to look good on both a huge TV, a small screen from your smartphone, but also the regular screen from your desktop computer. So this makes it a little bit tricky to juggle between all of these screen dimensions. So in order to make this a little bit easier for you guys, I have made some research. If you search into Canva, YouTube channel arts, Canva will have a document for you with the dimensions of 2560 by 1440 pixel. So this is indeed the optimal dimensions for a YouTube channel art. So when you click on that, let me open a new one here, for example. So these will be all the templates. Be careful with these templates because some of them do not respect the safe zone that will be looking good on every device. So this is why I'm saying this YouTube channel art creation is a little bit trickier than the other types of document. So let me create one from scratch. This is the type of document you will have. So me, because I am conscious that not all the parts of this page will actually look great on a mobile phone, for example. They might look great on your TV, but they might not look great on your mobile phone. So I've conducted a little bit of research on Google, I read different blog posts, and I came up with this. So this is pretty much two different safe zones and kind of segmentation of your main screen here. So I started with this one. I found this information, but then I found another one, this one, and I put this to test with different banners or channel art from different creators that have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. So this one right here, for example, subscribe for a cookie, is Mr. Beast with almost 100 million subscribers. So I figured like if they're doing it like this must mean something. Okay, this must mean that they know the dimensions. vidIQ also over 1 million subscribers, and D Nimin 150,000 subscribers, but they all specialize in talking about YouTube or they know YouTube very well. So, and they all fit within these dimensions, and these guides that I've placed here They are based on this template right here. So what is this? Let me first explain that the entire canvas, the entire page, will be looking good on a TV. Okay, so that's why Canva has such a big document size, like such big dimensions for the YouTube channel art, because it needs to also look good on TV. So the maximum dimensions, 2560 by 1440, is the entire page. And this is what you will see when you look at your cover art or your channel art from a TV. Okay. Next, you have this bar here in the middle, or this section here in the middle, which will be suitable for both your desktop, and in the middle here, what you see in the purple color is what will look good on all devices. Okay. So I figured this purple zone here is where most of your visual should be focused. Okay. We apply this to these different creators' YouTube channel. We see that it is the case. Everything is designed so that it looks great in this safe zone right here, the purple area. So this area is actually 1546 pixel by 423. And this needs to be centered. So you can design a rectangle of this dimension with Canva and then center that in the middle of your page. And you know that this is your safe zone. So this is what I would recommend you do from the get-go. So you can actually place your guides in this right position right here. And if I create a new page, this is what it would look like. So I know that the important stuff needs to be in this rectangle here in the middle. Again, the dimensions of this square right here is going to be this 1546 by 423 pixels. Okay, so you create a rectangle of that dimension and you center that in the middle of your page. All right, now that being said, let's create our channel art for Fairtrade Connection. I am once again using my Canva Pro account because I will be continuing on the visual style I created in the previous lecture when I designed my different thumbnails. Remember these thumbnails right here? So I want to double down on this visual style because I believe it is looking really good. I'm really happy about this style. So I want to bring that to my channel. Okay. So what I will do, I will grab this text right here and I will copy it, Command C, come back to my channel art page right here and Command V. Okay. So I have that. I will reduce its size slightly so it fits in here. And I will make that centered in the middle of my page. Okay, might push it down slightly. And I might want to reduce its size a little bit more so I'm completely safe here in my safe zone. Okay, I'm gonna push it down just a little bit. And one thing I want to do is to add my Fairtrade Connection logo right here. I'm going to use my main color, so my fuchsia color instead of the green. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to be bringing a logo. Okay, so probably going to bring this logo as well in the main color. And I will reduce its size. I want this to fit right here. About here, yes, about this size is good, but I want to give it a white circle around this logo. So let's add a background to this so I can actually see, I didn't see this little speaker right here. So I'm going to ungroup all of this. So my ungroup button is right here under the More button, ungroup. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to create a circle. For this, I'm going to use my C key. So that's this keyboard shortcut for creating a circle. And bring the circle here. The circle needs to be white. And I'm going to push it backward so that it's right underneath my logo. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to group those two things and bring it up here. Maybe what I can do is to move this box here slightly to the left. So the box and the background. So first I need to select them both. I'm going to group them. And then with my keyboard arrow, need to click on it again. With my keyboard arrow, just slightly move them to the left. So I have a little bit more space for my logo here. And I'm going to do something that I'm not supposed to do according to my brand style guide, but I'm going to rotate the logo slightly so it actually looks great here. And I don't want it to be outside of my safe zone. I actually want it to be inside my safe zone. Yeah, so let me grab everything here and I'm going to group all of that and maybe slightly push it down. Okay. So it is, and I'm using my keyboard arrows to do so. I'm pushing it down so I'm completely sure everything is within my safe zone. Okay, something else I liked from our thumbnails right here is this pattern right here that we were using yesterday. Remember this one? So again, I'm going to copy it as well. Coming back to my other design and I'm going to paste it. So it's right here. This is way too big, so maybe I make it this size. And I'm just going to center that right underneath my logo and push it backwards. Okay, so it's there. You can barely see it, but it's there, I guarantee you. Let me put a darker background so you see this a little bit better. All right, so this looks good. I have my, my main title, I would say, of the channel, the main message. Now I need visuals, okay? So I want to continue this trend that I have here. Let me zoom out a little bit. I want to continue this visual trend of having like a black and white background with the character, the hero of the photo in full color. I really like this effect and I kind of want to try to reproduce this here on my channel art. So first, I'm going to need to add a grid here. So going to my elements, finding a grid, and I'm adding the first grid here. Okay, so this grid needs to be in the back. It is exactly in the back of everything. So now the challenge for me has been to find the right photo. I need a photo with the main focus of that photo looking great within this safe zone right here. So I went through a bunch of my different photos and I found a couple of options, okay? So I'm gonna design pretty much 3 different banners here and I'm gonna select one that I will then later upload onto my YouTube channel. But the first one I came up with, first photo I decided to work with is this one. Okay, so here we see 2 different artisans, 2 different farmers working in a rice field. And I really like this photo because there's the rice, there's the sky and the dragonflies. This one person is looking at the camera and this one is working. So I really like that. So I'm trying to do something with this, but I see they are kind of outside of my safe zone. If I use this person's head is going to be cut off, like a half of his head, and this person also is not going to be well framed. So one thing I can do is to double click on that photo and try to scale it up a bit so that I can at least have one of these people completely into my safe zone. And the other one is going to be slightly outside of it. And I want to make sure it is completely outside of it because otherwise I will see a little bit of arm and I don't want that. So maybe if I position the photo like so, I will see a bit of the rice here, but that's fine. And I will see this other person. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to click on done. And this is what I have. Okay. So this looks okay, but I feel like if I want to apply this effect of the color and the black and white in the background, I need to go one step further. So one step further would be to click on the frame or the grid and duplicate it. Okay. So Command C, Command V. Okay. I have now duplicated my grid. What I'm going to do, the bottom layer, I'm going to remove the saturation from it, just like I did for my thumbnails. Okay, so clicking on it, click on Edit Image, and then the saturation goes all the way back to -100. And then pushing this one back up, and then clicking on it and applying the background remover. So I'm using the exact same technique I used for my thumbnails. So this is the result. This is pretty interesting, but I feel I could go a little bit further because this is looking quite sad for a YouTube channel. It's not very inviting. There's a lot of black and white. So I want to add more color to this. So how can I do it? Because the main characters are a little bit small. Yeah, so I'm going to use the restore button right here and try to paint over this thumbnail. Okay, so I'm going to restore And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back the grass here. So I will have some green color here at the bottom. So I'm just using the restore button to paint back over my design. And what I want is to have just like all the grass, all the rice field, all the way to this person's foot right here. So, but I don't want it to have like a straight line. So I'm gonna try to make this artistic and have some kind of curve like so. All right, now painting the rest of it. And I'm not sure this is gonna look great, but we can always try. So this is me trying something new here, trying to be creative with this photo, and we'll see how it looks. And also, if you remember, there was some of the rice here that this person is actually carrying. So I'm trying to maybe represent that so it shows nicely here. Let's see if this can work. Okay, let's try this and click on done right here. So this is what we have. I could probably try to restore this part as well. But other than that, it looks pretty cool. Maybe I could add a little bit more here. So to try to cover this part as well. Yeah, let's focus on this part right here. So it's too bad that Canva doesn't show me. Yeah, there you go. Canva doesn't show me my grids when I'm trying to restore. Okay, but I feel like we are good with this. Yeah, this looks actually pretty good. And I'm gonna fly with this for now. So this would be, I'm gonna apply it. This would be my first cover, okay? So this looks good, but I feel like I could do better than this, okay? So I'm just going to duplicate this page and try something different. So I'm gonna delete this, I'm gonna delete this, I'm gonna delete this, and I believe, yeah, this is all I have. I will keep the grid because I will work with a different photo. This time, I want to work with this photo right here of the two little girls because I feel like the framing could really work for me here because they are about the same size of my safe zone. I just need to scale this photo a little bit. So let me zoom out. First, I'm going to scale so that they fit into the safe zone like so. And now we'll move that and make sure they are in the safe zone. Maybe reduce that a bit more because I'd love to see their arm and hands because they look nice, kind of hugging each other. And I like that. I like that it's kind of like a loving posture that they have here. Like maybe they are sisters or maybe they are best friends. Not sure exactly. But yeah, let's work with this. And maybe push it back to the right a little bit more so my logo has a bit more space to breathe there. Okay, so this looks good. Again, I'm going to apply the exact same technique. So duplicating the grid, Command C, Command V, desaturating the base one. So edit image, saturation all the way to the left, and then moving this back right there, and background remover. Edit image, background remover. Background remover is really my best friend. Oh, this looks nice. I'm gonna apply this. And this looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with this. So this will be my second choice for the banner, or actually so far my first choice. I like this. This one has more color than this one, so I'm not gonna paint over anything else at this stage because this is looking cool enough. But I still feel I can do better than this. So let's create a third option here. Again, I'm gonna delete this stuff as well. And now this is the base layer. Perfect. So the last photo I have is this one right here. Okay, so this one is really cool. A lot of women there, and this lady standing and kind of speaking up with the look on her eyes is really representative to what we are trying to do with this channel. So I can actually move this photo down like so. And even though the top of her head is not in the safe zone, her eyes are in the safe zone. So let me just slightly zoom in and position her like so. Okay, I think this is gonna work great. Now, what I'm not convinced about is if the background remover will only cut her out and not all the other ladies or not that other lady in the background. So let's try. I'm gonna duplicate the layer, Control C, Control V, desaturate the base one. You know the drill by now, like so. Repositioning this one at the same place, and then edit image background remover. Now, come on, background remover, give me a nice cut of this lady. Perfect. Yes, it worked. And it worked great, actually. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm gonna apply the effect. And yep, I think I'm going to roll with this one. So what I'm going to do here, so now you see we have 3 different options. This one is my least favorite one because the painting over the picture could be a little bit weird. It's quite different from what we had so far. Here we have, let me zoom in here to see if everything is in the right place. Yes, it seems like it. So I'm just gonna go with this. I'm going to download page number 6. Okay, so download PNGs, find all page, no, just page number 6. Click on done. And then click on download. So you'll see Canva will download only page number 6. Okay, it is right here. Let me just grab this, place it on my desktop. Okay, it is here. You don't see it, but it's here on my desktop. And yeah, I'm gonna switch over to my YouTube channel right here. You see, this is the actual banner that I have. It's not really looking great. I'm gonna apply the new one. So clicking on this little icon right here. So I can change my profile picture or I can change my banner image. Okay, let's go ahead and change it. Yes, this is the new one. I'm gonna open it. And then you see YouTube is going to show you how your banner art is going to look on different devices. So viewable on TV, you have this entire, oh, it's even like responsive. You have this entire screen right here. This is looking good. I mean, I have everything that I need, but I'm not particularly optimizing for TV. I'm mostly optimizing for mobile. Okay, so view on all device is this. And this is really important. This is where I want everything to be centered. So I'm pretty happy with this. On desktop, it would look like this, which is also okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, click on done. It will be optimized. And yeah, just publish it. And now let's go back to the channel. YouTube is doing its thing. Okay, go to the channel. And there you go. We have our channel art here. It is looking great. The last thing I want to do is to go to my mobile phone and check how it looks there. So let's do that. All right, so let's grab the phone and head over Fairtrade Connections YouTube channel to see how this visual looks over there. So this is my phone right here. Just gonna click on YouTube very quick. I'm gonna search for Fairtrade Connection. I'm gonna click here. Okay, go to the channel. And yes, it looks like this visual looks great on the page. We have everything in the frame. Nothing is missing. The head is cut exactly where I wanted it to be cut, and the message is well centered in the middle of the page. So I think we did a great job with this visual, and this also proves us that the dimensions that we used were the correct one. So well done with this one, guys. We have one more lecture to go in this section about social media, and in this one, we are going to learn how to design an infographic for social media. So who is looking forward to this one?
Your profile image is often the very first impression people get of your brand. Whether you're showing your face or going fully faceless, this section will show you how to design a profile picture that looks clean, intentional, and recognizable across platforms. From avatars to logos to branded icons, Canva gives you the flexibility to make it yours.
If you're like me, you probably take most of your photos from your smartphone. So it would actually make a lot of sense to start a Canva project that involves a photo of myself from my phone. So let's do that. Let me grab my phone, and the first thing I'll do is to go to canva.com from my mobile browser. Okay, so I'll just type in canva.com right here. All right, so this is canva.com on my mobile browser. I'm using Chrome as my browser, but you can also, if you have the app installed, you can also follow along and just open the Canva app. That would be the same experience. So from this homepage, I can start with the little plus button right here, the purple plus button, and then choose Edit Photo right here on top of the menu. That's one way of starting this project. Or if I cancel this, I can also go for the little camera icon that is right here in the search box. You see this little camera icon? So if I click here, then I will have the same options to select a photo. So from here, I can either grab a photo from the photo library, which is what I want, because I do have a photo to start this project with. I can take a photo, or I can choose a file on my phone. So I just tap on photo from the library. So from here, I'm just going to select my photo. So I'm very quickly going to grab my photo. Good, I found it. I'm going to use this photo right here. So again, from here, I have a couple of different options. I'm just going to say that I choose this photo by tapping on the choose button. And now, from here, Canva will show me the photo, but give me an extra choice to make. Okay, I will have to decide whether I want to start from the photo dimensions. In this case, it's 1536 by 2048 pixels. If I want to start from an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a Facebook post, etc., etc. If I swipe to the right here, I have a bunch of different formats. So because I'm going to work on a profile picture, I feel like the most appropriate format would be an Instagram post. So I'm going to tap on Instagram post and then tap on create here at the top of my screen. And now Canva will then load this photo in an Instagram post document on my page. Now I could very well continue the project from my phone. I have my photo here. I could start editing it. But you know what? I have a 27-inch monitor right here in front of me. It would be much easier and more comfortable for me to work on that project from my computer because it's right there in front of me. So what I will do, I will tap on these three little dots right here and simply rename my photo. I'm going to rename this Ronnie Profile Picture. Okay, Ronnie Profile Picture. Good. I'm going to tap on done. And there we go. I have renamed that. And now I am ready to pick up and continue this project and finish this project from my computer. But I really wanted to show you that you can start from your mobile phone, which is where most of your photos will be, and just put together, set up your Canva project, and then leave it there and switch over to your computer and continue the project there. So let's do that. Okay, I am now on my computer using my Canva Pro account because I intend to use the background remover to complete this project. And I can see that my project called Ronnie Profile Picture is waiting for me right here in the exact dimension that I use on my phone. So let's click on that. And as expected, my photo is right here. So I am going to start the process of creating this profile picture. I am going to use my Pro account because I do want to use the background remover, and I will show you in a couple of minutes. And also I'm going to create a profile picture for my personal accounts, not for Fairtrade Connection, because the Fairtrade Connection profile picture is very straightforward. It's just a white background with the Fairtrade Connection logo in the middle. So that is very easy, very simple to do. I could probably teach you guys something a little bit more elaborated because placing a logo in the middle of a white background is relatively straightforward. So let's create a profile picture for one of my personal accounts, okay? So starting from this photo right here, the first thing I'm going to do is to click on Edit Image and use the background remover, okay? If you don't have a Pro account and still want to use background remover in some sort of way, I would recommend you go to remove.bg .bg. Okay, remove.bg, you will land on this website and you can still use something similar to background remover to remove the background of your image, but you won't have all the flexibility that Canva gives you. Okay, actually Canva acquired this website and integrated it into Canva, and that is background remover. So you can still do it here. You will have some limited options in terms of the quality, the resolution of your photo, but you can still follow along and remove the background of your image from this website. And again, that is remove.bg. Okay, back to our Canva project. And I am going to use the background remover because I'm using my pro account. So let's go. Okay, so background remover has finished its job, and I can see the background is gone here. We don't see the beach anymore. We don't see the ocean anymore. And what I want to do with this picture is to basically crop only my face. I would like to keep only my face. I have this vision of a profile picture where it's just my face with an outline around it. So I will try to use the erase tool here. Okay, with my photo still selected, I haven't clicked anywhere. Just make sure you don't if you're using your pro account. I'm just gonna click on erase, and then I will have these options here to select the brush size. Okay, so for now, this is my brush size. You see, it's relatively small, so I can probably work with this to start with. I'm going to zoom into my picture to really see what's going on here. And first, I'm going to go quite like safe, play it safe, and I will fine tune this later, but I just want to get rid of the bulk of this image first. Okay, I can zoom out, and I will use a bigger brush size to just erase the lower part of this photo. Okay, so I'm just deleting everything here, and now I'm gonna reduce the size of the brush again to maybe something like 10, and I will zoom in on the photo again. And I'm using the wheel of my mouse here. I have a scrolling like wheel on my mouse to move up and down the design. And now what I'm gonna do is to try to really get rid of everything else which is not my face. And I'm aware that the little hair of my beard are going to suffer from this trimming here, but it's fine. I mean, because we are going to use an outline around the photo, I think it's gonna be fine. What's important is that we don't see any black parts of my shirt here in the actual image. So you have to be quite steady with your mouse and try your best to contour or to detour this photo with your mouse. So I'm very focused here, trying not to mess up. And okay, so this is what I have. I can still see a little bit of black here, so I can use some touches, touching up this process here, and here I can see some white. Let's go ahead and try to get rid of it. So I see I messed up a little bit. I can probably go Command Z a little bit so I can try to redo this in a better way. I can zoom in some more. Let's see. Yes. So it's not really easy, but I think I can do it. Okay, I think this is good enough. Let's zoom out. Again, there will be an outline around this, so it won't really show all of the imperfections. I'm pretty happy with this. Let's work with this. So once you're done with it, simply click on Done. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Click on Done, and then I'm going to apply this to the photo. Okay, so now I should have my photo, which is just my head, just my face. Okay, yeah, I could see that there was some clarity brought up to the photo. What I can do is to pretty much resize this photo by bringing the edges of my document, of my photo here, closer to my face. So I don't have all of this white space around it. Okay, I don't want to clip it too close to my face, but this is about right now. Okay, so this is what I have. I can make this bigger. I'm using the safe zone here to stretch this face. And what I'm going to do from here is duplicate the page. Okay, so I'm going to click on the duplicate button here, duplicate the page. The reason I duplicated this page is because I want to keep one page as kind of like a backup. So my page 1 is going to be my backup. I'm going to call it backup and renaming. You see, you can rename pages by simply clicking here. And page 2 is going to be the first, the first iteration. I will be playing around with this photo. So my vision is that I want to have a colored background with my brand color, probably the yellow. And then I want my face to be black and white. So I want to desaturate this image, but I also want an outline around my face and maybe a shadow. So let's try to see how we can do that. Okay, so first, desaturate. This should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to click on edit image with my image selected, and I'm going to go to my settings here, my adjust settings. So click on see all, and I'm going to get rid of the saturation. First thing. Okay, so now it's black and white. I need to make this pop a little bit more, so adding some brightness and most importantly, adding some contrast. So by adding contrast and maybe playing around with the clarity slider, I can make this look nicer. So you see immediately this is popping a little bit more. Maybe play around with the shadows to make the blacks darker. So this looks pretty good, actually. I'm gonna go with this. And I'm pretty much good with this. So I'm going to click out, and this is what I have. Now, I'm going to add this colored background. Okay, so clicking on the color button right here, I can use Ronnie's, the yellow color from my brand style guide. Let me make sure I am on the right. No, I am not. So I'm going to select my brand kit that I created previously. And I can see these brand kits again because I'm using my Canva Pro account. I decided to switch back and forth between my free account and my Pro account because for the purpose of creating visuals that important, I believe why not use all the full power that is given to me by Canva Pro. And I'm conscious that a lot of you won't have Canva Pro at this stage of the course, but it's completely fine. You can bring your colors by knowing the hex code of your color and simply copying that hex code to find that color. Me, I have it here, so I decided to just simply use it. Okay, so I can see this is already looking pretty decent. The next step is to try to have this outline around my photo. Okay, at this stage, I'm going to create a second backup because I'm happy with this, and I'm going to work on page 3. Okay, so page 3 is pretty much a duplicate of page 2, but I'm going to start adding this outline around the photo. Okay, so for that, click on edit image, and I'm going to search for my shadows. Okay, so shadows here, and what I want is the glow shadow. So let's click on that. You might see that your photo is coming back to the full color. So sometimes it does that because when you apply different effect on the same photo, it might jump back to the original colors. But I can see that the shadow has been applied. So don't worry too much about the black and white. This is why I created a duplicate on page 2. And there's an easy fix to that. But let's focus on the shadow and the glow effect for now. So without clicking out, I'm going to click on the setting icon right here. I'm going to make the size bigger. I'm going to change the color of the shadow immediately to white, so I see what's going on. Transparency, let's bring it all the way to 100 and the blur to 0. I kind of want like this straight line around my hair, so let's make this bigger. I'm trying to see something that looks pretty cool. So maybe 20 is a good size here for this. I could go even a bit bigger, maybe 25. Yeah, 25 looks even better. Okay, let's go for 25 and apply. So the settings, 25. Transparency, I want to keep it on 100, meaning if we go all the way to 0, it's completely transparent. All the way to 100, it's not at all transparent. I don't want this outline to be transparent. And the blur, it's all the way to 0. If I bring it up, it's just like diffusing, which could be cool too, but I want like a strong outline, which is a straight line basically. So 25, 100, 0, color white. Let's apply this. Okay, now it's applied to my face here. And though it looks good in color, I still want the black and white effect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the black and white photo here and use my copy style button. Okay, so I click on the paint roll and I'm going to click on my face here. And there you go. Now I applied the black and white settings, but I kept the outline, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Perfect. So this is taking shape. I'm going to save again, like I'm going to make another duplicate. So duplicate this page, and you see now you start to understand why I'm doing this, because sometimes you have little problems or issues with Canva, like stepping back to a couple of steps backwards. So by having these duplicated page, you can always come back to the previous phase, I would say, of your creation. So I really recommend you do this. So page 4, what are we going to do? Next is I want to add a shadow, another shadow around this white outline. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to click on the photo, edit image, and again add a shadow, and again add a glow. Okay, so it's going to add another glow around the white outline I just created. So one more time, I'm going to click on the settings. This time I'm fine with the black color, but I want this to be more diffuse now. So I'm going to add a lot of blur, like 15. Yeah, 15 sounds like a good amount. Size, it's really up to you. I'm going to go for 20. And transparency, I want this to be relatively subtle. So maybe 40. Yeah, 40 sounds like a good amount. I could go even more. Let's say 60, let's see. Maybe a little bit more blur then. Let's go all the way to 20 with the blur. I'm happy with this. We can always come back and
adjusting
come
your
back to page 3
transparency helps
do it
you
again if
do
we're
your
not satisfied.
watermarks.
So I have size 20,
remember that
transparency
also.
60, and blur 20 in color black. Let's apply this effect. Perfect. And now, again, I'm going to want to make this photo black and white. So again, paint roll, click here. It's going to take a second or two, but this photo is going to come back to black and white. Okay, so this is what I have. From here, you have a couple of options. So you could stop here. This is already a pretty cool profile picture. I'm going to duplicate this page. Okay, duplicate page. And show you a couple of variations that you could take from here. Okay, so I could very well fly with this. Like, this is a pretty cool profile picture, but one thing you could do is to kind of rotate this photo a little bit. So if this is something you want to do, like so, you could make it a little bit bigger as well and position this middle center. Okay, so this is one thing you could do. Let's come back to page number 4. I'm going to call this one my benchmark. Benchmark. Not sure how to spell benchmark, but I think this is it. I'm going to make another copy and then push it to page 6. Okay, another idea I had is to try to replace my sunglasses here for some sunglasses of another color. Kind of similar to my older profile picture. So let's go to the Elements tab and look for sunglasses. And these are Ray-Bans, so maybe if I type in Ray-Ban, I will find the exact same model. Sunglasses Ray-Ban. I'm going to filter for graphics. And let's see if I can find some Ray-Ban sunglasses here. So I have this. This could work. Let me see if I can change the color. I would love to have the yellow, or you know what? The glasses could be yellow. Yeah, this could look pretty cool. Yes. So what I need to do is to resize these glasses so they can cover my face. So let's zoom in and let's collapse this panel right here as well. So for that, well, let me zoom out first. So I'm going to click on the percentage, click on fit, and I'm going to collapse the object panel by clicking on the little arrow here. So I have more space, and now I can zoom in and really work on this. So let's make this bigger on both sides, and let's see if these glasses can actually come and hide the glasses underneath them. So maybe I rotate them slightly, like so. And they don't need to be completely perfect. They just need to seem like they are. Let me zoom out, fit, and see how this looks. Looks pretty good actually. And I love that I can still see like the transparency in the glasses here. So yeah, this is a nice option. Let me see if I can adjust this slightly. If I make this slightly bigger. Okay, let's zoom in one more time. So what you can do is to click on them again and use your keyboard arrow to position these slightly differently so they fit a little bit better. So I think this could work. We can still see a little bit here of the older glasses, like the glasses underneath. So let's see if I can actually hide that. Okay, this looks fine. Let me zoom out by again going to fit. Yes, this looks pretty awesome. So I'm gonna fly with this. What I'm going to do is to select everything and group. Okay, so now I can move this as one part. So let's bring it to the center. And again, I can still like slightly rotate this image. This is looking pretty awesome already, guys. So I think we could finish the lecture here, but one last thing I want to show you is that you could add a little bit of pattern in this background if this is something you want to do. So page number 6, benchmark, I'm gonna rename this as final photo, but I'm going to duplicate it and give like final, I'm gonna give like an alternate final. Okay, and I'm gonna say pattern background. Okay, so now what I will do, I will reopen my object panel here. I'm going to go to my elements and find a grid. Okay, for that I'm gonna clear the search and simply scroll down to my grids, click on grids. The grid is going to come and cover the background. Now, what I will search for from the elements is a photo. Okay, so I'm going to search for a photo of a yellow pattern background. Let's try to find something like that under my photos. Okay, so here you will have different kinds of yellow pattern backgrounds. Obviously, you'll have a lot of pro photos here, but for example, this one, you see this could be an interesting profile picture. So definitely I will keep this one. I will make another duplicate here. And you can go ahead and replace, like you could have bananas behind yourself. Like you can really have some fun here and play around like paper, like so, and play around with different backgrounds, or you could have a nice gradient in here, or this one right here, also nice. So yeah, there is really a variety of things you can do. You can also retouch that background. If you like this is looking pretty cool actually, like nice and warm. You have this texture of the fabric in the background. But if I want the background to be a little bit more luminous, I could click on it and then edit the image. Just go to my adjust settings, add some brightness, maybe a little bit of contrast. And like so, like you play around and actually modify the image in your background. So this is what we have so far, guys. We have a couple of variations of our profile photo. This is looking pretty cool. I think I'm gonna fly with the simple version, just the yellow background, which is my branded color. But I just wanted to show you, you can really quite easily create a profile picture that will pop out for sure on social media. With Canva Pro, you can achieve the same result with the free version of Canva. You will have less choice in terms of images that you put in your background, and you will also have to go through a third-party website to get rid of the background of your photo, but it is possible to follow along. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. In the next one, we will start designing for Facebook, so I will see you there.
Okay, everybody, that's the end of part 5. The next one then I will be doing, we'll be going over the social media designs like Facebook covers, Facebook ads, Instagram posts, and also how to download and publish them. So please make sure that you have your notifications turned on to all, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the content today. And I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you. And don't forget to watch the replay when you're working on your designs. Just watch it throughout each step and do it along with him. And you'll pick up on this very easily. And also, just if like when I'm playing these videos and it's pertaining to like a certain type of design, you can use all these elements on anything you design in Canva. So remember that also. All right. Thank y'all for coming. Bye-bye.
Faceless grind, I'm paving my lane. Me 2 times, yeah, we changing the game. Elevate me to you. Vibe is brand new. Built it from scratch, now we teaching you. Hit that sub, let the vision come true. This ain't just content, it's what we do.